For many years, Samsung has been the first brand many people look to when they're in the market for a new TV. As is the case with most TV manufacturers, every year Samsung releases a new lineup of TVs to replace their models from the year before. Now that we're over halfway through the year, we've had a chance to buy and test almost all of Samsung's 2020 TV lineup, so today we're going to take a look at the best Samsung TVs to buy in 2020. Hey, my name's Nick. I'm a writer here at Ratings.com, where we help people find the best products for their needs. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for the latest videos, or check out our website to see our full reviews and recommendations. Samsung has a very wide range of TVs that covers pretty much every price point you could imagine. At the bottom of the pack, they have their two 4K LCD TVs, the TU7000 and the TU8000. Above that, they get into their 4K QLED TVs, which is what Samsung is becoming known for. These include the Q60T, the Q70T, the Q80T, and the Q90T. And finally, this year Samsung has three 8K QLED models, the Q800T, the Q900T, and the Q950T. Keep in mind, these are Samsung's North American models, and different regions often have slightly different models and different model names. For example, in Europe, the Q80T will likely perform a bit worse than the North American Q80T, but there's a model there called the Q85T, which should perform similarly to the Q80T in North America. There also appears to be an entry-level 6000 series TV available in some regions, as well as a recently announced Q700T 8K TV that seems to only be available in the UK for now. Today we're going to take a look at Samsung's three best TVs of 2020, including the best budget TV, the best for gaming, and finally the best overall Samsung TV of 2020. The best budget 2020 Samsung TV that we've tested is the Samsung TU8000. Right off the bat, it's worth mentioning that Samsung often shifts their models down from the previous year. So while the TU8000 sounds like it would be the successor to last year's RU8000, it's actually more in line with last year's RU7100, both in terms of performance and price. That being said, it's available in a wider range of sizes, all the way from 43 inches up to 85 inches. It looks decently premium and well built considering its low price point, though it's made entirely out of plastic and doesn't look as high-end as Samsung's more expensive models that are made out of a mix of plastic and metal. The TV itself is quite thin and shouldn't stick out too much from the wall should you mount it, and it has very thin bezels all the way around the screen. If you don't plan on wall mounting the TV, it has two wide-set feet that are similar to most of Samsung's entry-level TVs, and while they do a good job of supporting the TV, there's still a bit of wobble, and they require you to have a fairly wide TV stand. As far as performance goes, the TU8000 is a decent TV for most uses, though it definitely won't be the model you'll want to look at if you want the best picture quality you can get. While it has an outstandingly high contrast ratio, which makes blacks look very dark and inky, this TV is edge-lit. This means that instead of having LED lights behind the entire LCD panel, there are only lights around the edge, and there's no local dimming feature to help improve the black levels in dark areas of the screen. This TV also can't get nearly as bright as Samsung's higher-end models. This means that not only will it have a hard time overcoming glare if you watch a lot of daytime TV in a room with a lot of windows, but it also can't get nearly bright enough to properly display HDR content. So while this TV does support HDR10+, you likely won't notice too much of a difference, and for HDR content to really pop, you'll want to look at a higher-end model that's able to get brighter. On the bright side, black uniformity is remarkable, so black scenes look even all across your screen. If you watch a lot of sports or play a lot of video games, you may be disappointed to learn that this TV only has a 60 Hz panel as opposed to a 120 Hz one, although this is somewhat expected for a budget model. That being said, it does have a black frame insertion feature that works incredibly well, and there's a motion interpolation feature if you prefer smoothed out video. Gamers will be happy to know that the input lag is exceptionally low, so you shouldn't experience any delays. And this TV supports 444 chroma, which is important if you want to use it as a computer monitor. Overall, if you're looking for a decent Samsung TV and don't want to spend too much, the TU8000 may be a good choice. But if you want something with much better performance, you may want to look higher up in their lineup. While I mentioned that the TU8000 is good for gaming, if you're a serious gamer who wants to get the best possible performance out of your PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, you'll want to go with the Samsung Q80T QLED, the best 2020 Samsung TV for gaming. Unlike the TU8000, this is a QLED TV, which is what Samsung is becoming known for and is slowly taking over their entire TV lineup. We expect this TV to be a great choice for the upcoming PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X consoles as well, so keep your eyes peeled for us to test those once the consoles are released. The Q80T looks much more premium than the budget TU8000 and has a solid metal center stand that takes up much less space, though there's still a bit of wobble. The TV itself looks very premium and is made from a mix of good quality plastic as well as metal, with an incredibly thin bezel all the way around the screen. It's available in a range of sizes from 49 inches all the way up to 85, though the 49-inch and 50-inch models have some differences that we'll discuss later. The Q80T is the lowest end 2020 Samsung TV to feature full array backlighting, with lights behind the entire LCD panel, and local dimming, allowing the screen to light up certain areas while keeping other areas of the screen nice and dark. This is also the lowest end 2020 Samsung TV that performs great for all use cases, and is a good place to start if performance and picture quality are super important to you. It can get very bright with regular content, helping it combat glare in well-lit rooms, and it can also get quite bright when viewing HDR content or playing HDR games, which will help make the image really pop. Native contrast is great, and of course the local dimming feature will help with that as well, though unfortunately the local dimming is only decent and it can be a bit slow in reacting to changes in the picture, which can sometimes cause the corners of the screen to flash when the whole screen is gray. But what makes this the best Samsung TV for gaming are the motion features. This TV has a 120Hz panel and even supports FreeSync variable refresh rate technology to help with screen tearing while gaming. The TV even recognizes when a game is launched from a device that supports VRR and enables it automatically so you don't have to mess around with the settings. It's worth noting that unfortunately the 49-inch model only has a 60Hz panel and doesn't support VRR, and we expect the newly announced 50-inch model to have these same differences as well. Input lag is remarkably low, ensuring a responsive gaming experience, and like the TU8000, it also supports 4:4 chroma if you want to use your TV as a monitor and game from your PC. If you're mainly going to be using your TV for gaming and want great HDR performance and features like VRR, the Q80T is your best bet, though it's also a great choice if you want a TV that'll make HDR movies and TV shows from services like Netflix or Amazon Prime Video look great as well. Though it's worth noting that unfortunately Samsung doesn't support Dolby Vision with any of their TVs, but they do support HDR10 and HDR10+. Keep in mind that if you're in Europe, the Q80T there is slightly different, and the Q85T appears to be closer to the version of the Q80T that we've tested. If you want some information on the different HDR formats, check out the article linked above. If you want the best 4K TV that Samsung makes in 2020, you'll want to go with the Q90T, the step up from the Q80T. Overall, these two TVs are quite similar, and they look almost identical as well, though the center stand on the Q90T is a bit smaller. It's also worth noting that this TV is only available from 55 to 85 inches, so if you want a smaller Samsung TV, you'll have to go with something a bit lower end. While the two TVs offer the same features, the biggest difference with the Q90T is in terms of picture quality. If you watch a lot of HDR content and want the best possible picture quality, you'll want to go with the Q90T. This TV can get much brighter than the Q80T, which helps HDR content really pop off the screen. It also has deeper blacks, thanks to its better native contrast ratio, and its local dimming feature works better as well. Other than that, the Q90T is almost identical to the Q80T. It has the same excellent motion performance with a 120Hz panel and VRR support in all available sizes, making it excellent for gaming. Though again, due to its brighter screen, if you play games in HDR from a PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, the Q90T will be even better than the Q80T. Unfortunately, since the Q90T is Samsung's top-of-the-line 4K TV, it is quite expensive. But if you want the best overall performance from a Samsung TV regardless of price, this is the TV to go with. You may notice that I specified that the Q90T is Samsung's top-of-the-line 4K TV and not overall top-of-the-line TV. While Samsung only introduced their first consumer-level 8K TV a couple of years ago, this year they have 4 models of 8K TVs available: the Q700T, the Q800T, the Q900T, and the Q950T. So far, we've only bought and tested the Q800T, and overall we found that for most uses, it actually performs worse than the Q90T. It has a much worse contrast ratio, a slightly worse local dimming feature, much less accurate colors, and worse black uniformity. While it's capable of displaying an 8K resolution image, it's worth noting that there isn't really any 8K content available yet, and this TV mainly relies on its ability to upscale lower resolution content to 8K. While it does an outstanding job at this overall, it likely isn't worth the higher price tag and trade-off on picture quality to most people. Of course, given the naming structure, it's possible the Q900T is meant to be the 8K version of the Q90T and may perform closer to it. So stay tuned to our channel and website to see if we review that TV in the future. And let us know in the comments if that's something you want to see. Overall, however, given the difference in price, we'd recommend the 4K Q90T over the more expensive 8K models for most people. Other than their 8K models, Samsung also has a separate line of lifestyle TVs that focus on aesthetics and unique features rather than raw picture quality. These include TVs like the popular Frame TV, which has an ambient mode that will display artwork when the TV isn't in use, so you aren't stuck with a large black rectangle hanging on your wall when you aren't watching TV. For those who want their TV to look like a piece of art when it's not in use, there's also the Sero, which has a unique shape and stand that helps it blend into the room, but we haven't tested it yet. This year, Samsung also released the new Terrace TV, which is designed to be wall-mounted outside and is rated IP55 for dust and water resistance, and advertised to get bright enough to overcome bright sunlight. While we haven't finished reviewing this TV yet, it's in our office and is being tested as we speak, so keep an eye on our YouTube channel as well as our website for that review to come out soon. We've also tested the unique Samsung Sero TV, which can rotate to a vertical mode. While this may not be for everyone, if you watch a ton of content on your phone from social media apps like Instagram or Snapchat, this TV may be for you. Check out the description below to links for our reviews of the Samsung Sero, as well as the 2020 Frame and the Terrace. So that's it. What do you think of Samsung's 2020 TVs? Did you pick one up? And if so, which one and why? Let us know in the comments below. You can also check out all the reviews on our website, complete with full test results and measurements. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel or become an insider on our website for access to all the latest test results first. Also, we're currently hiring in our offices in Montreal for various positions. So if you want to help people find the best product for their needs, take a look at the careers page on our website. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.